I'm standing here on the edge of our mini woodland. So this was a patch of bare earth and we moved here 6 years ago. So these were actually planted 5 years ago, and it's a slope facing east. Most people would have planted it up as a lawn, but we didn't want to have to be mowing the lawn for the next 25 years. And also I really wanted to plant some trees on the site because it was an open green field and we had no mature trees around us. So we bought a selection of bare root trees. I bought the trees from Kelt in County Clare because I know that they're grown from Irish seed, it's collected locally, and they're grown on in Clare with the use of no pesticides, no herbicides. So they arrived in a plastic bag. They look like little sticks. They were 1 to 2 years old, little whips, tiny, and I planted them over about 2 days on my own. It wasn't hard work at all. The first patch that I'm walking through now is where the alder are, and they've grown really well. The ground was a little bit wet and I knew the alder would grow really well there because they like having their feet wet. They're often found along the edge of rivers. So there's a total mix of trees here. There's alder for the wetter patches, there's birch, there's oak, which I'm just going by now, there's Scots pine, there's hazel, there's holly, there's rowan, there's crabapple. To my right is the existing hedge, so that did offer some shelter, and also there's some beautiful hawthorns and hollies, and there's a willow in there, so there's a really great diversity. And the only thing, after we planted them, we didn't spray, we just let the trees grow up. A couple of them, the Scots pine, did flop over a little bit and we did have to stake them, but everything else just went in. I pulled back the grass from a few of the plants, but mostly I left them to their own devices. And they grew up and they are now starting to shade out the grass. We cut a path through it, and that's just for ourselves so we can walk through it and enjoy it. And some of the branches that come onto the path, we cut them back, so there's a clear passageway through. So for us, this is a wonderful use of what would have been a lawn area, and in most people's homes that's what they would put in. They'd sow a lawn area, and instead we have this wonderfully biodiverse area. I've just turned now and I'm coming back along the path. So the children love to run through this, so if there's something like this in a community, it could be part of an amenity area, and it can be done in a very small space, and I will give details on how to create it. So I'm coming into where the rowan are. They're a little bit slower to get going, and then into the birch. So obviously this area is now full of bird life, but also there's lots of flowers that have come up. I had some angelica this year, which I just love. I have put in some native bluebells and some wood anemone as well, and a few ferns too, some of all native plants. So I would encourage you, if you have an open bit of ground, to plant it up with some trees. It's low maintenance, and to my eyes anyway, it's really incredibly beautiful.